years. It was so much fun. I feel like everything that I do with my son, like, I always have fun no matter what because I'm with him. Today I'm drinking a blueberry Nunca latte. This is like my all-time favorite drink. So good. I'm literally obsessed with these. And I also have my water. Let's just get right into it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. So, the first book Maddie and I also don't do a lot of like triggers, so I thought this would be fun to like tap on some books. The first book that I got is Fantastic Land. My older sister recommended this one to me. Okay, and it sounded really good. So let me read you the synopsis. Get ready for a struggle for survival in the unlikeliest of places. Are we crooked right now? I feel like we're a little crooked. Since the 1970s, Fantastic Land has been the theme park where fun is guaranteed. But when a hurricane ravages the Florida coast and isolates the park, the employees find it anything but fun. 5 weeks later, the authorities who rescue the survivors encounter a scene of horror. Photos soon emerge online of heads on spikes outside of rides, and viscera and human bones littering the gift shops, breaking records for hits, views, likes, clicks, and shares. How could a group of survivors, mostly teenagers, commit such terrible acts? Presented as a fact-finding investigation and a series of first-person interviews, Fantastic Land pieces together the grisly series of events. Cut off from the world and left on their own, the teenagers soon form rival tribes who viciously compete for food, medicine, social dominance, and even human flesh. This new social network divides the ravaged dreamland into territories ruled by the pirates, the shop girls, the freaks, and the mole people. If meticulously curated online personas can replace private identities, what takes over when those constructs are lost? Oh my god, did you hear him? Fantastic Land is a modern take on Lord of the Flies meets Battle Royale that probes the consequences of a social civilization built online. So I thought this sounded super good. I love a thriller. And yeah, when my sister talked about it, she said it was so good. I think she said it might be her favorite book that she's read. And I read Lord of the Flies in school. I feel like most people read that in school. And I started watching Yellow Jackets, and like some things in this just description remind me of that. So next I have synopsis on this because it is the second book in the series, and if you haven't read the first one, I don't want to spoil anything. But I know, like, the person that she ends up with is not the person that I think. And I don't, in my head, I'm like, how does she end up with this person? But that was spoiled for me online, but I think those books are like, have been out for a while. So, the next book I have is Migrations. This one is not super long. And this has been on my TBR for quite a while. Franny Stone has always been a wanderer. By following the ocean's tides and the birds that soar above, she can forget the losses that have haunted her life. But when the wild she loves begins to disappear, Franny can no longer wander without a destination. She arrives in remote Greenland with one purpose: to find the world's last flock of Arctic terns and track their final migration. She convinces Enos Malone, captain of the Sakani, to take her on board, winning over his eccentric crew with promises that the birds will lead them to fish. As the Sakani fights its way south, Franny's dark history begins to unspool. Battered by night terrors, accumulating a pile of unsent letters, and obsessed with pursuing the terns at any cost, Franny is full of secrets. When her quest threatens the safety of the entire crew, Franny must ask herself what she is really running toward and running from. Propelled by a narrator as fierce and fragile as the terns she is following, Migration is both an ode to our threatened world and a breathtaking page-turner about the lengths we will go for the people we love. This has been on several lists online that I've seen, and I can't remember if, like, the ending has left people shocked or sad. I really can't remember, but I like it that way. I like to go into books blind. Or, like, I've heard people say that this book really sticks with them. So, I'm gonna lower you. I just feel like you're, like, awkwardly high still. Okay, is that better? I don't know. Okay, next. I read a very, like, strange, I don't know if I would say strange, but I don't read just, like, romance or just thriller, or I read a little bit of everything. Next, I have Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I can't remember why I saw this on a list as well recently. I can't remember. I feel like people have said that the sequel of this is really good. But how far would you go for happily ever after? For as long as she can remember, Evangeline Fox has believed in true love and happy endings until she learns that the love of her life will marry another. Desperate to stop the wedding and to heal her wounded heart, Evangeline strikes a deal with the charismatic but wicked Prince of Hearts. In exchange for his help, he asks for 3 kisses to be given at the time and place of his choosing. Oh my god. I actually had no idea what this book is about. But after Evangeline's first promised kiss, she learns that bargaining boxer who works as a bouncer in Los Angeles following a devastating defeat. And Lucky, the youngest, models in Paris while trying to outrun her hard partying ways. They also had a fourth. Wait. Did I miss one? Bonnie. Okay. I was really confused because I thought Bonnie was the wife. Bonnie is the second sister. Okay. They also had a fourth sister, Nikki, whose unexpected death left the family reeling. A year later, as they each navigate grief, addiction, and ambition, they find that they must return to New York to stop the sale of the apartment they were raised in. But coming home is never as easy as it seems. As the sisters reckon with the disappointments of their childhood and the loss of the only person who held them together, they realize that the greatest secrets they've been keeping might not have been from one another, but from themselves. Imbued with Coco Miller's signature combination of humor and heart, Blue Sisters is a story of what it takes to keep living after loss and ultimately to fall back in love with life again. It just said to fall in love with life again. I don't know why I said back. But I saw someone talking about this on TikTok, and it was in like a list of books that would make you cry. And I have 3 sisters. There are 4 of us, and not all of my sisters get along. I talk to all of my sisters, but they don't all talk to each other, and this just felt like it could hit home for me. The tale of the estranged sisters. Next, hold on, I need some water. Next, I have Funny Story by Emily Henry. I have never read anything by Emily Henry before, but in my book club last month, my book club is a fantasy book club, but usually after we're done talking about our book, we spend time talking about other books that we've read, and like it doesn't have to be fantasy. And they started talking about sometimes authors get so popular or book series get so popular that it just makes them not want to read them. And they started talking about Emily Henry, and I was like, I've never read anything by her before, and I've only heard good things about her books, but I also I'm not a fan of the covers of her books, because we were talking about like covers of the books straying you from reading them, and I don't like when there are like people on the covers of books. But they were like, just look past that and read one. And I said, I know that there's the really popular one, Beach Read, and it's gonna be a movie with Tom Blythe. I think that's the one, right? But a couple of them were like, oh yeah, that one wasn't my favorite, so I decided to pick up Funny Story. But if anyone has any recommendations for other books by Emily Henry, definitely let me know, or any books in general. I like most stuff. I love romance. romance and I love fantasy, but I'll read like pretty much anything. Okay, it's a funny story. Daphne has always loved the way her fiancé, Peter, told their story, how they met on a blustery day, fell in love over an errand hat, and moved back to his lakeside hometown to begin their life together. He really was good at telling it, right up until the moment he realized he was actually in love with his childhood best friend, Petra. Peter and Petra, really? Okay. Which is how Daphne... I had a cat named Daphne growing up, actually. Sorry, it just made me think about that. I loved that cat. Which is how Daphne begins her new story, stranded in a beautiful Waning Bay, Michigan, without friends or family, but with a dream job as a children's librarian that barely pays the bills, and proposing to be roommates with the only person who could possibly understand her predicament, Petra's ex, Miles Noack. Scruffy and chaotic, with a penchant for taking solace in the sounds of heartbreak love ballads, Miles is exactly the opposite of practical, buttoned-up Daphne, whose coworkers know so little about her. They have a running bet that she's either FBI or in witness protection. The roommates mainly avoid one another until one day, while drowning their sorrows, they form a tenuous friendship and a plan. If said plan also involves posting deliberately misleading photos of their summer adventures together, well, who could blame them? Oh my gosh, this sounds so funny. But it's all just for show, of course, because there's no way Daphne would actually start her new chapter by falling in love with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex, right? Oh my gosh, that's funny. Funny story. I'm excited for that one. Okay. Then I have Yellowface. White lies, dark humor, deadly consequences. Best-selling sensation Juniper Song is not who she says she is. She didn't write the book she claims she wrote, and she is most certainly not Asian American. In this chilling and hilariously cutting novel from the #1 New York Times bestselling author R.F. Kuang, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, authors June Hayward and Athena Liu were supposed to be twin rising stars, but Athena's a literary darling. June Hayward is literally nobody. Who wants stories about basic white girls, June thinks. So when June witnesses Athena's death in a freak accident, she acts on impulse. She steals Athena's just-finished masterpiece, an experimental novel about the unsung contributions of Chinese laborers during World War I. I really hope you can't hear my neighbor mowing. They're like right up to the front of their yard right now. It's the middle of the day, so I'm not like mad, but... So what if June edits Athena's novel and sends it to her agent as her own work? So what if she lets her new publisher rebrand her as Juniper Song, complete with an ambiguously ethnic author photo? Oh. Doesn't this piece of history deserve to be told, whoever the teller? That's what June claims, and the New York Times bestseller list seems to agree. But June can't get away from Athena's shadow, and emerging evidence threatens to she thinks she deserves. With its totally immersive first-person voice, Yellowface grapples with questions of diversity, racism, and cultural appropriation, as well as the terrifying alienation of social media. R.F. Kuang's novel is razor sharp and eminently readable. Apparently. I've heard really good things about this book, though. And it definitely sounds different from anything that I've read before. The last book that I picked up is The Poppy War. The Poppy War. This is a fantasy book, and let's read this. And I'm sorry if I pronounce anything wrong. When Rin aced the Kiju, the empire-wide test to find the most talented youth to study at the academies, it was a shock to everyone. To the test officials, who couldn't believe a war orphan from Rooster Province could pass without cheating. To Rin's guardians, who always thought they'd be able to marry Rin off to further their criminal enterprise. And to Rin herself, who realized she was now finally free of the servitude and despair that had made up her daily existence. That she got into Singard, the most elite military school in the Nikara Empire. It was even more surprising. But surprises aren't always good. Being a dark-skinned peasant girl from the south is not an easy thing at Singard. Rin is targeted from the outset by rival classmates because of her color, poverty, and gender. Driven to desperation, she discovers she possesses a lethal, unearthly power, an aptitude for the nearly mythical art of shamanism. Exploring the depths of her gift with the help of a seemingly insane teacher and psychoactive substances, Rin learns that gods long thought dead are very much alive, and that mastering control over her powers can mean more than just surviving school. For even though the Nikara Empire is at peace, the Federation of Mugen still lurks across a narrow sea. The militarily advanced Federation occupied the Nikara Empire for decades after the First Poppy War, and only barely lost the continent in the Second. And while most of the people in the Empire would rather forget their painful history, a few are aware that a third Poppy War is just a spark away. Just a spark away. Just a spark away. Rin's shamanic powers may be the only way to save her people. But as she finds out more about the god who has chosen her, the vengeful Phoenix, she fears that winning the war may cost her her humanity, and it may already be too late. A lot of people bring up this book when talking about things to read that can relate to the current political environment of the United States. And I've heard that it can be pretty dark. That is all for this video. subscribe so you can stay updated over there if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you